In an episode of No Reservations, Anthony Bourdain calls the Portuguese bifana a magical dish, a cure-all in the form of a pork sandwich. I definitely agree. I love bifana and I agree with many more things that Anthony Bourdain said. Now, let me show you the Viennese cure-all, the Viennese magical dish. This is a Leberkässemmer with ordentlich viel Senf, and this is a Krögel. Mahlzeit. If you've never tried this magical combination, then you don't know what heaven on earth really feels like. But anyway, let's get finally back on the Rundumadum Weg. Let's go!
So now we're at the Wiener Zentralfriedhof, the Viennese Central Cemetery. Don't feel bad for walking through it. It's something that people that live here do as well. Like they use it kind of like a park. This place is not only for the dead, it's also for the living. And while I will walk to some very special graves of very special people, I will tell you about one of the inhabitants of this place. Also, we will not see them today. They're already hibernating. But anyway, let me tell you something about them.
The European hamster is an endangered species nowadays. Meadows, his natural habitat, are getting less and less, but they adopted to live alongside humans. In Vienna, you can often see them at various cemeteries. A really curious fact about them is that they go to a stage of hibernation which is closer to death than sleep. Real hibernation means an extreme reduction of all metabolic processes. The body temperature drops to 2 to 3 degrees, the breathing rate to an average of once per minute, the heartbeat to an average of 5 times per minute, and brain activity almost stops. In science, this state is called torpor after the Latin term of freezing. Such torpor phases can last several days to a maximum of 2 weeks. But never the entire winter. In the meantime, they don't wake up, they just actually sleep. Researchers with ground squirrels, who also reach torpor phase, showed that sometimes brain and cell damage occurs. Apart from that, damage caused during torpor is repaired during the warm-up phases most of the time. From hamsters' near-death experiences to the actual dead. The Wiener Zentralfriedhof is a place you should visit once in your lifetime. Or afterwards. It was established in 1874 as the city's response in growing population and therefore more need and at the same time lack of burial sites. Located in Simmering, it spans over 2.4 square kilometers, making it one of Europe's largest cemeteries. It welcomes people of all faiths with separate sections for Catholic, Protestants, Jews, Muslims and Buddhists. When it was built, it was quite far outside of town and not too easy to reach, so it wasn't that popular. The city tried to change this with reburying famous people like Ludwig van Beethoven and Franz Schubert there. Nowadays you find many popular and famous Austrians here. Not only that, the image of the place changed completely. People come here not only to visit the dead, but to find a peaceful and quiet place.
The last couple of kilometers are quite boring, just walking through these urban areas with all apartments and stuff, so not really much to show. But soon we're gonna be at Donau-Auen, which is also gonna be kind of the end point for this stage.
Our bridge to the Donauinsel is the hydroelectric Freudenau power plant. Completed in 1998, it is both a source of renewable energy and an architectural landmark, integrating modern design with environmental considerations such as fish ladders for aquatic ecosystems. The Danube Island is one of my favorite places in Vienna. During the summer months, it is a perfect place to go. Meet with friends, having a drink, going for a swim, having some more drinks and getting blackout drunk, having a walk and enjoying nature. You can do all of that and much more here.
One of the cool things at the Donauinsel is you have so much wildlife. I just saw a kingfisher. I couldn't catch him with the camera, but I think he's still somewhere around. You see a shitload of kingfisher. You see so many herons and cormorants and so many other birds, and also deers, roe deers, badgers and stuff also live here. So that's really, really cool, especially here in the south, because it's a bit more wild. Not too many people come here. The place where people hang out is more in the center or in the north.
After crossing another bridge to leave Donauinsel again, there is my goal for today, Restaurant Roter Hirsel, where I also collected the third stamp.
Good morning to day 4 of a hike around Vienna. Today is quite a special day because we're walking through the national park, Lobau, Donau-Auen. And while we will walk through it, I will tell you a bit of the story. Because Vienna is the only city that has a national park within the borders of the city.
The national park Donau-Auen has a rich history intertwined with nature and human intervention. The area, part of the last free-flowing stretches of the Danube, became a protected space to preserve its unique floodplain ecosystem. Historically, the Lobau was a rich hunting ground and a resource for wood and fish. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, efforts to regulate the Danube through dams and channels significantly reduced the floodplain size, threatening its biodiversity. By the 1970s and 80s, plans to build a hydropower station in the area sparked fierce public resistance. Environmentalists, scientists and local communities united to protect the Lobau's pristine nature, leading to protests and increased awareness of its ecological importance. Their efforts succeeded, and in 1996 the Donau-Auen National Park was officially established, including the Lobau. It now spans over 9,300 hectares, stretching between Vienna and Hamburg, preserving a dynamic habitat for countless species of plants and animals. Today, the Lobau is not only a haven for wildlife with an endless amount of different habitats, but also a recreational and educational space for people, offering a glimpse into what Europe's floodplains once looked like.
I would love to show you all this on a warm spring day when it's full of flowers and full of life, and you see a bit more animals than now, but still this is one of my favorite places in Vienna. I think I really love to come here just to relax, have a swim. It's really beautiful and amazing that we have something like this. So I've got myself some malt wine to keep me warm on this cold and windy day. Cheers guys. This again is a more or less boring part, like right after the national park you walk through a little park, then through mainly urban area where there you also pass a supermarket, so you can resupply on beer or anything else you might want. Then there is another small forest where mainly locals walk the dogs. If I remember right, it's like 5 kilometers just on a field and there is nothing. I think that's the most boring part of the whole trail, but we'll see if I'm right, if this is now or at some other point. So yeah, it's the windy fields, but also we're passing now Seestadt. This is quite a new part of Vienna. It was built like 10 years ago, something like this. Before that, don't even know what was here before that. Fields probably. If you walk this path in summer or in the warmer period, there's also a little artificial lake there, so go for it and have a swim.
I highly recommend you to enjoy the part in the national park a bit longer, because the rest is, well, still a nice walk, but compared to what we already saw, a bit boring. Roads, open windy fields and construction sites. Here and there walk through a small wood or park, but nothing special. It gets a bit more scenic in Süssenbrunn, but nevertheless I decided to end this day a bit early to have a beer with my friends.
So, final stage, day 5. I skipped a little bit because yesterday I stopped in Süssenbrunn, which is not directly on the trail, like the train station is not directly on the trail, and I would have to walk back and just make 3 kilometers more just to pass a golf course. Like there is basically nothing of interest or importance, so I decided to directly walk here to Gerersdorf train station, which is a way more direct way. As we are in Gerersdorf now, we also left Vienna and we are in Lower Austria now for a couple of kilometers.
The Marchfeldkanal is a story of solving problems and working with nature. The Marchfeld region, northeast of Vienna, has always been a rich farming area. But after the Danube river was regulated, the land stopped getting the water it needed from seasonal floods. Farmers struggled as groundwater levels dropped and crops were harder to grow. In the 1980s, a plan was made to fix this. Engineers and environmentalists worked together to create the Marchfeldkanal, a system of canals that would bring water from the Danube into the region. Finished in 1992, it not only provided water for farming but also created new homes for plants and animals. Now the Marchfeldkanal is more than a canal. It helps farmers, supports wildlife and biodiversity, and gives people a place to enjoy nature. It's a great example of how we can work with nature to solve problems and make life better for everyone.
This looks quite interesting. It looks like there is a path for deers, I guess. We have a lot of roe deers here and it leads down to the water. So I guess this is where they drink. I first thought that this is more of a path for fisher, but it's very thick, so probably not for a fisherman. And regarding this, also not for beaver, because they, I think, they don't walk that far away. Looks more like a deer path or whatever.
At this part of the trail I was really lucky with spotting some really cool animals. Starting with goldfinches feeding on the seeds of an elder tree, a kestrel resting on a transmission tower, and these two buzzards fighting mid-air, probably about prey or territory. I also got very close to those squirrels. There were 3 of them in the tree getting ready for winter. These are red or Eurasian squirrels. Their color can vary from red, brown to black like here, even with a cute white chest. An easy way to make sure it is a red squirrel are the furry ear tips. No other squirrel species has them. The very invasive grey squirrel is luckily not documented in Austria yet. In UK, they put the native red squirrel close to extinction by taking their food habitat and spreading an aggressive virus which the Eurasian squirrel isn't immune against.
Kokosch. Was? They're following me. Maybe we're a gang now, I don't know. But you see, sometimes even Vienna feels like, you know, farm life. If you walk in this area, like in the warmer period, let's like say May to October, keep your eyes open, because this is the habitat of ground squirrels. I made a short about them. They're cute little small fuckers roaming around here. Like I said, quite a long hibernation period. Back there are some deers, roe deers. Right, and by searching for all these little furry friends, don't forget to enjoy the view. Also there's a common kestrel preying on mice, and in summertime he's also preying on the ground squirrels. But don't forget to enjoy the view of Vienna back there. We are now kind of on the top of Bisamberg. Arrive at Marchfeldkanal, which is a restaurant where we can get our fifth and last stamp.
Or at least the one I got. While the official Rundumadum Weg stamp was missing again, I got a different one, but it said the name of the restaurant, so I guess it counts.
By the way, that's an old wine press where you can get the stamp.
We now reach the Stammersdorfer Kellergasse, which lets you dip into a culture that is not so well known outside of Central Europe. Heurigen and Buschenschanken are special wine taverns where local winemakers serve their own wines and simple homemade food like cold cuts, spreads and bread. They are known for their seasonal charm, with many only opening when the new wine is ready. The seasonal opening times also brought the name to these places. Heurigen means basically from this year. Traditionally, these places are cozy and rustic, offering a relaxed atmosphere surrounded by vineyards. Today, some Heurigen and Buschenschanken have modernized or even become luxurious. This mix of tradition and modern comfort makes them a unique way to enjoy Austrian wine culture. After we reach the Marchfeldkanal again, it's not far until the Danube, and the weather for this last day could not have been better.
So, we are back at the Danube. There you can see the Donauinsel. Up there you can see the Leopold's Church, which was one of our stops on the first day. That means we are nearly done. We're on the last few kilometers of the trail. Nice! I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
The Rundumadum Weg is a very special one. If you like escaping the lively city, this trail is for you. If you want to explore the incredible nature that surrounds Vienna, this trail is for you. If you want to have a walk with friends and want to avoid the masses most of the times, this trail is for you. It did not feel like a proper long distance hike for me, as there was no camping or town to town or hut to hut walking included. So the adventure factor was a bit missing for me. But maybe that's also because I hiked the whole trail already years ago and many parts of it again. Anyway, if you are planning on a longer stay in Vienna and look for a unique way to explore the not so well known parts of it, go for it. It's one of the best ways to explore these areas.
Well, and that's it. We're here. This is what we used to kind as a trailhead. There is no sign for the Rundumadum Weg anymore. We lost it. Anyway, there's the path to Nussdorf train station. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, like, subscribe, and I hope not yet. We're not finished. Wait a second. So here we are at the Vienna City Hall, picking up a pin. You can get it here at the Stadtinformation. It's on the back side, on the back entrance of the City Hall. And here it is, the pin of the Rundumadum Weg. This is one of the proudest moments of my life. Well, it isn't, but it's pretty cool anyways. So, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little 2-series episode of the Rundumadum Weg. I hope I could show you a little bit of the culture, of the history of Vienna, the fucking incredible nature that we have here. In a couple of days I'm gonna restart to travel again, and I'd really love to take you guys with me. If you would like to join in, subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up below. Tell me in the comments which was your favorite part of the Rundumadum Weg. I wish you guys all the best for the new year, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Bye!